General Motors, one of the big dogs in the automotive industry, has made a surprising move. Mary Barra, the boss at GM, revealed that they're hitting reverse on most of their EV plans. Instead, they're dusting off the old gas-powered cars, saying it's what people really want. Reliable rides without all the fancy electric stuff. Now, why the sudden change of hearts, you ask? Well, let's rewind to 2019. GM was all hyped up about electric cars. They even waved goodbye to their Chevy pickups, thinking they'd be swimming in success with their electric cars like the Chevy Bolt EV and their fancy Ultium EV platform. It was like they were ready to conquer the world with electric power. But guess what? Reality hit them like a ton of bricks. Despite all the buzz, GM ended up losing a whopping $1 billion last year in the electric car game. Ouch, right? Their plan to flood the streets with electric rides and leave gas cars eating their dust didn't quite pan out. Turns out, the EV market wasn't exactly a smooth ride for GM. But hold on to your seats, because there's more to the story. Now, GM's flipping the script. They're ditching the electric roller coaster and jumping back into the gas car game. And guess what? People are cheering them on like crazy. It's like they're bringing back the good old days of reliable rides that won't break the bank. But wait, there's a twist. Some people are whispering about hidden secrets. Are the EV makers keeping something under wraps? And what's Mary Barra's secret sauce to bring back gas cars with a bang? Before we move on, if you're enjoying the content in this video, leave us a like and subscribe. General Motors has had some big dreams about electric cars, right? They thought their Bolt EV would be a hit, but boy, were they wrong. It's been a bumpy ride with delays in making and delivering the cars. And those cool new Ultium-powered EVs they were all excited about? Turns out hardly anyone wanted them. Can you believe it? They couldn't even sell a measly 1,000. But get this, the CEO, Mary Barra, drops a bombshell out of the blue. She says, you know what? We're going back to good old gas cars. Why? Well, because gas cars are still selling like hotcakes. Meanwhile, EVs are having some serious issues. People are complaining about them catching fire, having lousy quality, and making weird noises inside. Yikes! And here's the kicker. Mary Barra admits they've been losing big money on EVs. They had to deal with a massive worker strike that cost them a whopping $750 million in just 1 week. Talk about a punch in the gut. To make matters worse, they've been selling their EVs at crazy discounts, losing over $120,000 on each one. That's more than $1 billion down the drain. But wait, Mary Barra does a complete 180 and tells all the other EV makers to buzz off. She says people aren't willing to fork out $60,000 to $80,000 for a car that can barely go 150 miles in the cold and can't tow squat. And forget about making affordable EVs in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. According to her, that's a no-go zone, not profitable, she says. They were all pumped about launching the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV for around 30 grand. But now it's like, maybe not. Why? Because all the horror stories about EVs catching fire lately. It's scary stuff. So guess what? People are sticking with good old gas cars, especially the cheaper ones. So, GM is finding itself in a bit of a tight spot. They're basically admitting that Tesla, you know Elon Musk's company, is way ahead of them in making electric cars. Tesla has all the fancy technology, making loads of money, and sells a ton of cars. GM, on the other hand, is struggling to catch up. Now, GM is saying they might have to go back to making regular gas cars to make money because making electric batteries is still really expensive. They think it'll take maybe 10 years before electric cars become affordable for everyone. But here's the thing, GM isn't the only one in trouble. Ford is also having a tough time with electric cars, and GM even canceled a big deal they had with Honda to make a bunch of electric cars together. GM had this big idea to make lots of electric trucks in Michigan. But now they're saying they'll have to wait until 2025. They say it's because they need to be smart about spending money and only make as many cars as people want to buy. But it seems like they're just having a hard time getting everything to work smoothly. And it's not just in the United States. Even in China, GM is having problems. Their sales are going down, and they can't keep up with the other companies there that are making electric cars. It's like GM is always trying to catch up while everyone else is zooming ahead. Now, don't go thinking it's just GM in this boat. Ford's riding the same waves of chaos. They've got their own drama, cutting down production of their big EV star, the F-150 Lightning. They were all set to crank out a bunch of these babies, but now they're slashing those numbers in half because apparently the demand just isn't there. Both of these auto giants, GM and Ford, were racing to the EV finish line, throwing down billions to pump out electric rides. But now it's like they've both hit a wall. Sales are stalling, production plans are getting tossed out the window, and it's all turning into a bit of a mess. Electric vehicles, or EVs, have zoomed onto the scene, promising a cleaner, quieter future. But lately, their shiny exteriors have been marred by some concerning issues, raising questions about their viability and safety. Perhaps the most alarming concern is the risk of EVs catching fire. While statistically rare, incidents involving major manufacturers like GM and Tesla have sent shockwaves throughout the industry. These unpredictable infernos not only raise safety concerns, but also cast a shadow of doubt over the overall reliability of EV technology. As if on cue, cold weather throws another wrench into the EV experience. Imagine planning a winter road trip, only to see your car's range plummet faster than a snowman on a hot plate. This is the harsh reality for many EV owners in colder climates, where battery performance nosedives, leaving them stranded with range anxiety. Moreover, charging times in the cold can feel like an eternity, further dampening the appeal of winter travel. Unlike their gas-guzzling counterparts, EVs seem to be accumulating repair bills like trophies. While minor issues are expected with any vehicle, the complexity of EV technology can lead to hefty repair costs, especially for the battery, the car's expensive heart. Replacing a faulty battery can feel like buying a whole new car, leaving a dent in your wallet thicker than a mechanic's manual. In addition to that, the Biden administration is hitting the accelerator on EVs, setting stricter emission standards that essentially push car makers towards electrification. While the intent is laudable, the current state of EV technology raises concerns. Is forcing a transition before these issues are addressed the best course of action? Is rushing towards an electric future risking a fiery pitfall instead of a clean utopia? If you're enjoying the content, we've got more. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date. Affordability is often touted as a major perk of EVs, with promises of lower fuel costs. However, the equation gets complicated when you factor in potential fire hazards, hefty repair bills, and the ever-present challenge of finding charging stations. The convenience and cost savings start to look more like a mirage in the desert, especially for budget-conscious consumers. So what's the bottom line here? Remember those shiny electric cars buzzing around like eco-friendly superheroes, saving the planet from gas guzzlers? Yeah, about that. Lately, things are looking less Jetsons and more Flintstones. Electric vehicles were supposed to be our clean, green chariot to the future, but lately they seem more like ticking time bombs on wheels. So, what happened? Why is the electric dream sputtering? Well, it seems there are some bumps in the road. Big automakers like GM, who were all gung-ho about ditching gas guzzlers just a few years ago, are suddenly backpedaling faster than a teenager caught texting in class. They're digging up old gas car models like someone desperately searching for their trusty flip phone after their fancy new smartphone keeps freezing. The timing is especially ironic considering EV sales were already hitting some potholes. GM, for example, hasn't exactly had a smooth ride with recalls and launches that weren't exactly met with confetti parades. Remember the Hummer EV and the Blazer EV? Now, with the EV market not exactly booming, they're jumping ship back to gas cars. This whole situation is a bit of a wake-up call for the entire car industry. EVs clearly have some growing pains. Maybe we weren't quite as ready for the electric revolution as we thought. Car companies are finally starting to wake up and smell the fumes, but the question remains, when will the government get the memo? Here's the crux of the issue. EVs are supposed to be a clean alternative, but right now, they're not exactly squeaky clean. Battery production has its own environmental footprint, and disposing of them is a whole other challenge. Plus, the electricity powering them isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's from dirty coal plants. So what now? Do we ditch the electric dream entirely? Not necessarily, but we definitely need to hit the brakes, reevaluate the roadmap, and figure out how to make EVs truly sustainable, both environmentally and economically. This means tackling battery issues, finding cleaner sources of electricity, and making sure the whole EV ecosystem is truly green, not just greenwashed. The electric future is still possible, but it's going to require more than just flashy commercials and government subsidies. It's going to require some honest reflection, innovative solutions, and a serious commitment from everyone involved. Only then can we truly turn the electric dream into a reality, not just another pipe dream gathering dust in the garage. Are EVs all doom and gloom then? Not necessarily. Technology is constantly evolving, and these issues might be temporary hurdles on the road to a cleaner future. However, it's crucial to be aware of these challenges before wholeheartedly embracing the electric revolution. Remember, even the brightest stars sometimes flicker, and ensuring a truly sustainable future demands addressing these concerns before EVs become the norm, not the exception. So tell me, what do you think is the most effective way to tackle this problem GM has? Are there other solutions in your mind? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section